Hello, I'm Mary Jane Mattingly,
And I'm Susan Knapp,
and together we're the Quilt Branch.
and we have designed the Cottage ruler. The Cottage ruler is designed to cut 45-degree shapes. As you can see on the ruler, there's lots of 45-degree shapes in patterns that you can use this for. This is designed to work with strips that have a 1/2 inch seam allowance added to the finished size so that you can cut all of these 45-degree shapes from a pre-cut strip that's a 1/2 inch larger. I'm going to show you now how to cut a half square triangle using the Cottage. To cut a half square triangle, place the center of the ruler along the bottom of the strip and add 7/8 to the finished size and cut the 45-degree angle. Turn the ruler 180 degrees, find finished plus 7/8 along the top of the ruler, and cut the 90-degree angle. You can continue to cut across the ruler, across the strip with the ruler, and get your half square triangles. When you put half square triangles together, you get squares. To cut a quarter square triangle, I want to start with a 45-degree angle. So I always cut a quarter square triangle. Now, place the ruler so that the little black tip that's here on the ruler is off the edge of the fabric. This little black tip is 1/8 of an inch. I lay the ruler down so that the left side is lined up with the 45-degree angle and the little black tip is at the top of the strip, and cut the second 45-degree angle. Now I have a quarter square triangle. If I turn the ruler 180 degrees, the tip off the top of the strip, and line it up with the bottom of the strip, then I'm able to cut the second one. Again, working your way across the strip, wasting nothing when you're cutting a quarter square triangle. Now we can add a half square triangle and have flying geese. To cut trapezoids with the Cottage ruler, again, we're going to measure along the center of the ruler. If I would like this to finish at 4 inches, I would put the ruler at 4 inches plus the 7/8, or 4 7/8, and cut the 45-degree angle. Rotate the ruler 180 degrees and find the same measurement, 4 7/8 in this case, and cut the 90-degree angle. Now I have right pointing trapezoids. To do left pointing trapezoids, I start with measuring with the center of the ruler at the top of the strip. Again, finished size plus 7/8, and cut the 45-degree angle. Rotate the ruler 180 degrees, find the 4 7/8 along the bottom of the ruler, and cut the 90-degree angle. Now I have left pointing trapezoids. Trapezoids can be put together with half square triangles, or they can be put together to make larger rectangles, or they can be put together with quarter square triangles. To make larger triangles. Now I'll show you how to cut parallelograms. Start with a 45-degree angle, put the center of the ruler along the bottom of the strip, measure out finished size plus 3/4 of an inch, and cut the 45-degree angle in the same way. Now I can move the ruler just to the right and cut again, and cut. These are left skewed parallelograms. To get right skewed parallelograms, again, start with a 45-degree angle, and this time place the center of the ruler at the top of the strip, measure out finished plus 3/4 inch, and cut the 45-degree angle. So now we have left and right pointing parallelograms that can be put together with quarter square triangles. To make longer strips. Half square triangles can be added. Trapezoids can be added. To get a trapezoid that has two 45-degree angles, again, we're going to work with the long edge is always measured with the center of the ruler. If I want this to finish 6 inches, I add 1 1/4 inches. Using the center of the ruler along the long edge, I measure to 7 1/4 and cut the 45-degree angle. Now I have a longer trapezoid that I can add half square triangles. I can add parallelograms. I can add quarter square triangles. And all of these can be added into your quilt and all cut from the same size strip. In order to cut the house shape, you would start with a square. We want to cut the same amount of fabric off of both sides of the square. So again, using this little black tip, but the numbers on the ruler are going down at an angle, are on center. So I can center a 3.5-inch square underneath the ruler with the little black tip at the top of the square and cut the same amount of fabric off of adjacent corners of the square, creating the house. The house can be put together with half square triangles. You can create a sashing that would be put together with quarter square triangles. If you start with a rectangle and trim both ends, you can have a diamond. As you can see, there are lots of shapes that you can cut that have 45-degree angles. The Cottage ruler is designed to cut these shapes and many more with strips up to 2.5 inches or squares up to 5 inches. So when you're cutting for any of your patterns with 45-degree angles, you now can work with the Cottage ruler to make your cutting quicker and easier.